Asalamualiakum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to Nafisaspearlz. My name is Nafisa. I hope you're all doing good and it's lovely to be back. Okay, so in today's video, I've got some tips and tricks on how to increase your hijab confidence. Okay, I know that we're living in a world today whereby it's show and tell, you know, show it all, tell it all, express it all. But in Islam, we know that we have got boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed there. But that doesn't mean that we can't be confident. It doesn't mean we're not confident. So if you're interested in learning tips and tricks on improving your hijab confidence, then continue to watch this video. Okay guys, my first tip is to make dua. Wallahi, and I rarely swear by Allah, wallahi this works. Just trust me, wallahi it works. When I started to think about wearing the hijab, because I didn't wear the hijab until I was a little bit into my teens, I was so nervous. In fact, I was at college, I was so nervous. And I remember just getting up one day, I prayed 2 rakats, just 2 rakats. And I made dua to Allah to take away the anxiety that I was feeling about wearing the hijab. Because you know what? I realized that that anxiety was from the shaitan. Because the shaitan was realizing that I was about to do something that would get me closer to Allah, and he was just finding all different type of ways to push me back away from doing that. You know, I was getting worried about what my friends might think, what my family will say. But you know what, after I made those 2 rakats and I made that dua and asked Allah to take away the anxiety and to make me happy and proud to want to wear my hijab, I have never looked back since. Guys, wallahi it works. Just try it. Just try it. If you're really sincere in your heart and you're struggling, maybe you are already a hijabi and you're struggling to wear the hijab, or you're just thinking about coming into wearing the hijab, guys, no one can do it for you the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do it for you. You can make use of all the means that I've got to share with you today, but making dua is number one priority. Okay, number two is to remind yourself of why it is that you're wearing the hijab. You know, sometimes we just get into a routine and we forget, and maybe some of us never really got the chance to internalize Islam. And what I mean by internalizing Islam is to personally accept Islam, because maybe some of us were born into Islam and we're just used to, family just told us we just had to wear hijab from a very young age. We always did, so it never really meant anything to us. If that is the case, now is the time to really reflect and think that, you know, or to remind yourself that you're doing this for the sake of Allah. You're doing this to please your creator, the one that loves you the most, the one who is your goal, the one who's gonna have your back when everyone else runs away from you. You know, it's Allah that you're doing it for. And you know what? If Allah is pleased with you, he will make the whole world pleased with you. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is displeased with you, even if everyone in the entire world was to be pleased with you, it would mean nothing. It would mean nothing. So remind yourself of why it is that you're wearing the hijab, and that really helps you. You know, it just brings you back to your purpose, and that really does make a difference. Number 3 is to keep yourself busy with Islamic reminders. You know, what I like to do is watch a lot of videos on YouTube with different sheikhs and reading the Quran. Anything that reminds you of Allah, continuously do it. Because you see, what happens is that when you continuously remember Allah, you build that close bond with him. You know, things that you may have forgotten that the shaitan is trying to trick your mind about. You know, once you start remembering Allah more and more, it all comes back to you, and then you start to feel like, okay, this is why I'm doing it. Okay, I know if I don't do it, the punishment is there waiting for me, and I don't want to displease Allah. So do a lot of things that remind you of Allah. Watch a lot of lectures on YouTube, read the Quran, do the extra fasting, do the extra praying. Trust me, extra good deeds will just keep you steadfast. It will just keep you on point. It will keep you in check. So as much reminders as possible about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will definitely help. Now, my next tip, this one is so important, but a lot of people like to think that it doesn't really impact them, but it has a massive impact on all of us. And that is to surround yourself with other people or other Muslims who are practicing the deen and who are themselves hijabis. You see, we all like to be with people who remind us of ourselves, with people who are like us. Now, I'm not saying if you have friends who are non-Muslims, you know, just ditch them and just go and find yourself a whole bunch of Muslim friends. But if you are able to surround yourself with Muslim friends who wear the hijab and who are practicing Islam as much as possible, it will have a massive and a huge impact on you. One of the things that happened to me was that, and if you guys want to hear my hijab story, then please leave a comment down below. But one of the things that happened with me was that when I started to wear the hijab, there would be some days when I would just be standing there and a sister would come up to me at college and she'd be like, Nafisa, it suits you so much, like you look so good in hijab. And although you might think what other people have to say doesn't really matter, but when people give you positive affirmations, it just makes you feel like, yeah, you know what, I am on the right path. I am on the right path and I'm not alone, okay? This is what is so dangerous about you just being the only hijabi amongst a whole group of your friends. None of them are going to remind you about Allah. All you're going to remember being with those group of people is how different you are and how much you don't fit in. Okay, because in as much as you like to fit in, you're not like them. You see, you're different and that is okay. You're just different in a good way. So find people who are like you. Find other hijabis who inspire you. It doesn't have to be with, you know, a company of your friends or family. It could even be here on YouTube, you know. Find YouTubers who wear the hijab, who are happy and proud to be hijabis, who can inspire you, you know, to explore, you know, the whole world of hijab and being content and happy with it. That can really have a massive impact on you. So that is number 4. Now number 5, I have said this before, is to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has your back. And what do I mean by that? That could be seen as a ghetto term, yeah. But Allah has your back. And what I mean by that is that no matter what happens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never let you down. You see, on this journey of you wearing hijab, if you happen to be the only one in your family who is wearing hijab, or other family members or close friends don't really seem to take hijab seriously, you might find people who will come to you and try to, you know, take you away from wearing the hijab. They might even encourage you to take the hijab off. And you're really going to have to be strong, because they're going to give you all the reasons that if you just look at them logically in terms of this world, it might make a lot of sense to you. They might say, you know, you wearing this hijab, how are you going to find a job? You wearing this hijab, how are you going to find a husband? You're so smart, you're educated, you're beautiful. Why are you oppressing yourself? Why are you doing this? I've had people come up to me and say, look, I'm a Muslim and I don't wear the hijab, so what do you think you're doing wearing the hijab? So you're going to hear it all, but trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me. At the end of the day, it's only Allah who's going to be there for you, okay? On the day of judgment, those people are not going to be standing next to you being like, oh yeah, I was the one who told her not to. No. Everyone is going to be just fighting for themselves. It's going to be nafsi, nafsi, myself, okay? So don't listen to all those people who bring negativity into this, because you know what, at the end of the day, it's not about them. This is what you can try to make them understand, that wearing the hijab is not about them. It's about your relationship with your Lord. So if they seem to take offense of it, you probably should just make them understand that, listen, I understand your concerns for me, but I'm doing this to please my Lord, and I think that Allah will take care of me. I'm going to be fine. And trust me, Allah will take care of you, okay? Don't worry about finding jobs. Don't worry about finding a husband. Allah will provide all your needs for you. Because what happens is when you focus on the hereafter, Allah brings the world to you in your hands. You will be surprised when you end up with a job better than those who don't wear hijab. You will be surprised when you end up with a more righteous husband than those who don't wear hijab and have shown off all of their beauties. You will be surprised what Allah will do for you. Now, number 6 is that bear in mind that your hijab and keeping it on could be a test for you. Yes, Allah may test you with your hijab, so you need to remain strong. And being strong comes with being close to Allah and doing all those other tips that I've spoken to you before about, because Allah could test you with it. and if you fail and do take off your hijab, don't beat yourself up about it. You know, pick yourself up again and continue in that journey, okay? But don't let it get to the point where you feel that you have to take it off, because that is just shaitan trying to trick your mind into thinking that what you're doing is not beneficial for you. Trust me, it's so beneficial for you, but perhaps we might not see the full benefit of it until we reach our destination, which is Jannatul Firdaus. And my final tip is to remind you all that hijab is not just to do with the head covering or covering the body. It's also to do with behavior and etiquette, okay? And this is a lost and forgotten part of hijab, and I might do a video on that topic all on its own, because it's such a major part of hijab that no one talks about anymore these days. So remember that hijab is also to do with your behavior and your etiquette. And remember that all actions are judged by your intentions. If you're wearing the hijab to please someone else, then that is all you will ever have. You will not find the reward of it with Allah. And to be honest, it's hard enough being a hijabi, and to get to Jannah and find zero reward for it, no, I'm not about that life, okay? I want to see that scale like all the way up there, because I kept my hijab on, because the struggle is real. And in the summertime, when people see you and they're like, are you not hot? I'm like, yeah, I'm hot, but don't worry, I know what I'm doing, okay? So I'm waiting for that reward. So let's just keep the hereafter, you know, keep that in our minds and make that our goal, and inshallah we will be fine. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and my little tips and tricks on how to improve hijab confidence. I hope you come back again to join me on this channel. My name is Nafisa. Jazakallah khair for watching. Assalamualaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.